Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode in the Redstone series. In this one I want to show off a couple useful little clock mechanisms that you can use in your contraptions that require them. There isn't a whole lot more to say. I'll show you various different designs and yeah. I won't show you exactly how to build each one because none of them are all that complicated. I'll just show you some good shots of the structure of each one and you should be able to get it from there. But the first one on our list is the dual hopper clock, and this one is really easy and also pretty useful. So you can see that when you turn this lever off, the clock turns on, and that's just because there are two hoppers pointing into each other with an item inside. It goes back and forth. The comparator finds the item. This one's also really easy to increase the duration between each pulse of, and that's because you can just add more hoppers in the loop. And you can get a slower clock, like that. This one is also nice because if you add more hoppers, the duration that this comparator stays on for does not increase. So you don't have to do any pulse shortening if that's a problem with your build or anything like that. The next one is also really simple. It's just this comparator clock set to subtract with the light on. And what this one does is you flick the switch and it'll turn on. So that's you flick the switch off, it'll turn on. This one's you flick the switch on, it'll turn on. And this one flashes on for a tick and off for a tick, so that's pretty quick. And an important thing to keep in mind here is that unless you put it at least 3 redstone desks away from the comparator, the repeater will not work. See, that one's 2 instead of 3. And poink. Another useful speedy clock is the observer one. This one's sort of harder to toggle on and off. So if you want to be toggling it on and off, you might want to use this one instead. But yeah, just 2 observers pointing into each other. They detect each other's updates, and that causes a bunch of flashes. This one over here is really nice. It's a really long clock. If you want long time delays in between events, or in between the circuits of your cycles of your circuit, then this is probably the one you want to use. If you flick the lever off, it'll turn on, and you can set the time delay by putting more or less items in these 2 hoppers. And these 2, you can either toggle it with this redstone dust, powering that, or this block because it powers the redstone dust, or powering the piston or something, or you can block the items from flowing through the hoppers. So I'll just show you this in a speedier action. And I think the maximum time delay of this thing is about 4 minutes. But yeah, you can turn it off like that. The next one looks very similar. You may recognize it. However, instead of 2 sticky pistons, this is 2 sticky pistons, by the way. Well, that didn't help, but 2 sticky pistons. This one is a sticky piston here and a normal piston here. And what this one does is you update the sticky piston. I'm going to do that with a redstone signal, but you could just do it by putting a block on it or something, or updating it with a block. Anyway, you update it, and the redstone here will turn on. For the duration it takes these items to flow into this hopper and then back, and then it'll stop. So just to see that in action again, you get a really long pulse from just 1 button push. So if that's what you want, this is pretty useful. It's not exactly a clock, but it's closely related. And the last one I'm going to show off here is this one. It's pretty secure and stable, so not a lot can happen to this one. The hopper clock, sometimes items duplicate, and that'll clog it up. Sometimes stuff happens. However, this one's nice and reliable, and it's also very easy. So it's just a cycle where this redstone desk turns on, turns the torch off, turns itself off, turns the torch on, turns itself on, turns the torch off. And you can extend the pulse of this thing and the time delay just by adding more repeaters into the system. And it'll still not break because it's pretty it's pretty nice and secure, like I said. There we go. So obviously most of these designs can be rebuilt in various different ways, or built in various different ways even. Don't even have to build them once and then break them. However, I'm just going to show you the ways that I decided to build them. You can arrange the parts differently is what I'm trying to say. So that's that one. That's that one. They're just in a loop. I think you can figure that out. That's that one. That's that one. And that's that one. Like so, with the two hoppers pointing at each other. This is a sticky piston, that's also a sticky piston. This one is the same build, except one of the sticky pistons is a normal piston, and you update the sticky piston as opposed to the normal piston. Like so, and you put the items in to set the time delay, and this one is just like that. However, that's about all the time I have for today, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.